A single word flashes across the screen. Forgiveness. But in Heartland, forgiveness is never simple. And in Season 19, Episode 10, it becomes the moment that could break old wounds wide open or finally heal them forever. As the finale begins, every character is pushed to their limit. Georgie faces a truth she's been avoiding. Phoenix shuts down in a way that terrifies everyone, and a hidden danger moves closer to the ranch. This episode isn't just another ending. It's the storm before a brand new Heartland begins. The Season 19 finale opens with a tone we haven't felt in a long time, heavy, quiet, and full of tension. The trailer gives us only a few seconds, but those seconds hit hard. We see Georgie standing alone at the edge of the practice ring, her eyes full of fear and uncertainty. She isn't just thinking about returning to competition. She's thinking about whether she even deserves another chance after everything that happened. The camera stays on her face long enough for us to feel that weight. Then the scene quickly cuts to Phoenix, who is clearly struggling. He refuses to move, pulling back with fear in his eyes. For longtime fans, this moment is painful. Phoenix has always been the horse that carried Georgie forward, her partner, her heart. Now he's stuck, scared, and in physical and emotional trouble. And the worst part, Georgie feels responsible for it. The trailer doesn't say this directly, but the emotional message is clear. Phoenix's pain is tied to Georgie's own fear and guilt. Their bond is shaking. Another shot shows Amy watching from a distance. Her expression is focused, worried, but determined. She knows something deeper is happening, something more than an injury or training issue. The ranch around her looks calm, but we can feel the danger building. The rustlers storyline hasn't ended, and the trailer wants us to sense that the threat is still out there. A truck drives by slowly in one of the quick cuts, hinting that someone is watching, waiting. Jack appears next, tightening the reins on a saddle, his face serious. When Jack gets silent like this, it only means one thing: trouble is close. The entire ranch feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for something to break loose. The finale is clearly setting up a big confrontation, both emotionally and physically, but the strongest moment in this first look footage comes near the end of the trailer. Georgie whispers, "I don't know if I can do this." The line is soft, but it hits hard. This is not just about riding. It's about facing the people she hurt, forgiving herself, and letting go of the past she's been afraid to face. The word forgiveness appears on screen right after, tying her journey to the theme of the entire episode. Everything in this opening builds toward one message. Heartland Season 19 Episode 10 is not just a finale, it's a turning point. A moment where old wounds return, secrets rise, and every character must choose whether to run from the past or finally face it. And for Georgie and Phoenix, that choice could decide their future forever. The screen fades in with the sound of hooves pounding across frozen ground, a reminder of how Episode 9 ended. Not with peace, but with pressure rising from every direction. We left Heartland on the edge of something dangerous. Tensions were high, secrets were close to being exposed, and every character was carrying a weight they could no longer ignore. Georgie had returned, but not with the confidence she once had. Instead, she came back carrying a quiet storm inside her. Episode 9 showed her trying to reconnect with Phoenix, trying to work through the fear that kept her away for so long. But instead of healing, their training only revealed deeper cracks. Phoenix wasn't just refusing jumps, he was shutting down. His anxiety, his hesitation, his sudden panic, all of it pointed towards something bigger, something Georgie had been too scared to face. By the time the episode ended, she stood alone in the arena with tears in her eyes, whispering to herself that she didn't know how to fix any of it. Meanwhile, the rustler storyline took a sharp turn. For weeks, we've seen little hints: broken fences, missing cattle, strange tracks near the north pasture. At first, it seemed like small losses, the kind of trouble ranchers deal with from time to time. But Episode 9 revealed the truth. This wasn't random. Someone has been planning, watching, waiting. Tim and Caleb had a near miss when they found fresh tire marks cutting through the woods. Jack's instincts kicked in instantly, and he knew something wasn't right. Even Amy felt it, like the ranch was being circled by a threat they still couldn't see. We also saw tension building inside the family. Amy wants to help Georgie, but she doesn't know how. Lou is worried, not just about the ranch, but about her daughter's heart. Tim is frustrated and angry, pushing himself into danger without thinking. And Jack is the one quietly holding everything together, even though the pressure on him is greater than he lets anyone see. By the final scene of episode 9, the pieces were set. Georgie was breaking under the weight of guilt and fear. Phoenix was losing trust. The rustlers were getting bolder. And Heartland Ranch was no longer the safe, warm place it had always been. There was a shadow over it, something coming closer. That's why episode 10 feels so explosive. Every storyline has reached a boiling point. Every character is standing at the edge of a moment that could change everything. The finale's title, Forgiveness, doesn't just point to Georgie's personal journey, it signals a theme that touches the entire ranch. Forgiveness for past mistakes. Forgiveness for the pain caused. Forgiveness for choices that still haunt them. The trailer only gives us a few seconds of Georgie, but those seconds tell an entire story. We see her in the arena again, but this time everything feels different. The sun is low, the air is still, and Georgie stands in the center like someone facing a ghost she's tried to outrun. She isn't the fearless rider we remember. She isn't the champion everyone believed in. She's just a young woman who has finally reached her breaking point. Her hands shake slightly as she holds Phoenix's reins. She tries to steady her breathing, but it's clear she's fighting something inside her, something deeper than fear. This is guilt. This is pain. This is the voice that's been chasing her for seasons, whispering, "What if none of this is fixable?" Phoenix senses it too. Horses always know. Instead of moving forward, he lowers his head, takes a small step back, and looks at her with the same confusion we saw in episode 9. He's not just injured. He's emotionally locked, just like Georgie. Trailer footage shows him pawing the ground nervously, and that tiny action says everything. He's waiting for her to lead, but she can't. Not yet. Then the shot cuts quick, sharp to Georgie crying in the barn. Not loud, not dramatic, just silent tears rolling down her face while she leans against Phoenix's empty stall. It's one of the most vulnerable looks we've seen from her since her return. No dialogue, no other characters in the frame, just Georgie, and the truth she's been avoiding. The next scene gives us the real turning point. Amy steps into the arena while Georgie is sitting on the fence, staring at nothing. Amy doesn't speak at first. She just watches Georgie the way a sister watches someone she loves falling apart. And this silence between them feels heavy, like Amy knows that pushing her right now would only make things worse. The trailer shows Amy finally saying one line, "You don't have to do this alone," and Georgie looks away because she doesn't believe that yet. This theme, forgiveness, runs through every second of Georgie's storyline. But what makes it powerful is that she isn't trying to forgive someone else. She's trying to forgive herself. For the injury, for running away, for letting fear control her, for not being the rider she once was. This kind of self-forgiveness is the hardest kind, and Heartland isn't hiding that pain. It's embracing it. Another blink and you miss it. Clip from the trailer shows Georgie opening an old competition photo, her and Phoenix mid-jump, fearless, powerful, unstoppable. She presses the picture to her chest, and in that moment we see a spark. Not hope, not yet, but longing. She misses the version of herself she used to be. She wants to find her again, even if she doesn't know how. The emotional climax of Section 3 comes with one haunting line from Georgie during the trailer. "What if he never trusts me again?" Her voice cracks, and that single crack reveals her deepest fear, not losing Phoenix as a competition partner, but losing him as family. This finale is not about winning a medal. It's about rebuilding a bond, healing a wound, and choosing strength even when fear feels louder. Georgie's journey in episode 10 isn't a comeback story, it's a survival story. And it sets the stage for one of the most powerful moments of the entire season. Phoenix has always been more than a horse in Heartland. He has been a symbol of courage, of healing, of second chances. But in the season 19 finale trailer, Phoenix becomes something even more powerful. A mirror of Georgie's fear. A mirror of the family's tension. a mirror of the dark truth that sometimes the strongest hearts can break quietly. Without warning, the trailer shows Phoenix standing in the middle of the ring, completely still, not frozen from feisty stubbornness, not waiting for a cue, just still. His ears twitch, his breath is short, and his eyes look distant as if he's trapped inside a moment the audience can't see. But Georgie knows too well. This isn't a training issue. This is trauma resurfacing. The kind that sits deep and unspoken. The kind that doesn't heal just because time passes. A close-up shot reveals something even more heartbreaking. Phoenix's hooves shift nervously, like he wants to leap forward, but something inside him won't let him. It's the same hesitation we saw in Georgie. He's her in horse form, shaken, unsure, afraid of moving wrong. This parallel is the emotional spine of the finale. Their bond has always lifted them forward. But now, both of them are stuck. The trailer also shows Amy stepping in with a softer, gentler approach. She doesn't push Phoenix. She doesn't ask for a trot or a jump or even a simple circle. Instead, she kneels beside him, placing one hand on his neck as if she's listening to something in his silence. Amy has always understood horses better than people, and in this moment, she sees something Georgie can't. Phoenix is not resisting. He's calling for help. One crucial moment flashes quickly, easy to miss, but powerful if you catch it. Phoenix jerks his head lightly when Georgie tries to touch his bridle, not out of anger, out of fear. And Georgie steps back instantly, her face full of hurt. This tiny exchange reveals the heartbreaking truth she's been avoiding. Phoenix doesn't trust her right now. Not fully. Not the way he used to. And for someone whose entire identity was built on their bond, this cuts deeper than any injury. Then we see the vet scene. A dimly lit stall. Phoenix lifting his leg with discomfort. The vet speaking in a low, worried tone while Amy and Georgie listen. Though the trailer gives no full explanation, the message is clear. Whatever Phoenix is struggling with isn't just emotional, there is a physical layer too. Something that could take time. Something that could change their entire future. But the most haunting moment in Phoenix's storyline appears near the end of the trailer. A shot of him running alone in the pasture at sunset, not wild and free, but tense, like he's running from something. The camera follows him until he slows and looks back toward the ranch, toward Georgie. And for the first time, we see a spark of the old Phoenix, a flash of the fire that once carried them to victory. This moment matters because it hints at something bigger. Phoenix isn't lost. He's wounded. And wounds heal. If someone is brave enough to stay and help, Phoenix's struggle is the emotional anchor of the finale because it forces Georgie to face a truth she's been avoiding. Trust isn't built on perfection, it's built on staying, even when it hurts. Their healing won't be quick. It won't be simple. But episode 10 is the moment where their paths either reconnect or break forever. The rustlers storyline has been quietly growing all season, like a shadow creeping across the ranch when no one is looking. But in the season 19 finale trailer, that shadow finally takes shape. For the first time, we sense that the danger isn't distant anymore. It's here, it's close, and it's ready to strike. The trailer opens this part with a chilling shot. A pair of headlights cutting through the dark woods near Heartland. The engine hums low, steady, and too familiar, as if whoever is behind the wheel has been circling the ranch for weeks. This isn't a random thief. This is someone who knows Heartland, someone who's been watching, someone who understands their routines, their weak spots, their blind corners. The implication is enough to make the audience uneasy, then the pace suddenly jumps. We see Tim and Caleb racing across the pasture on horseback, the wind whipping through the grass. Their faces are tight with focus, their voices sharp as they shout directions to each other. They've found something: tracks, broken wire, maybe even the rustlers themselves. Whatever it is, it's serious enough to send them into full pursuit. Dust rises behind them as they push their horses harder, faster, refusing to let the trail disappear this time. A quick cut shows Jack throwing on his coat, grabbing his old rifle from above the door. He doesn't speak, but he doesn't need to. The look on his face tells us everything. Something has finally crossed the line. Jack Bartlett may be patient, but he is not someone you want to provoke, especially when it comes to protecting his family. This quiet, Simmering anger is new for the season, and it signals that the rustlers are about to face consequences they didn't expect. Another shot flashes Lou standing on the porch with her phone pressed to her ear. Her voice tense as she tells someone to lock the gates and stay inside. Behind her, the lights of the barn flicker, and a shadow moves across the yard. It's just a second, but it's enough to make us feel like the ranch is being watched from every angle. Lou's fear isn't just for the animals anymore. It's for the people she loves. The trailer then cuts to a moment that made fans freeze. Police cruisers pulling into the Heartland driveway. Blue and red lights spill across the fields as officers step out, speaking in urgent, clipped tones. Tim argues with one of them, shouting that they're wasting time and the rustlers are right there, behind the ridge. His frustration has reached its boiling point. Tim's temper has always been explosive, but this time it's fueled by something deeper. A feeling that he failed to protect his home. But the most intense moment of this storyline comes with a nighttime confrontation. The trailer shows a dark silhouette running through the trees, chased by flashlights and the sound of boots pounding on frozen dirt. A voice yells, "Stop right there," and everything cuts to black. Fans are left hanging on that single moment. Who were they chasing? And more importantly, did they catch them? Heartland rarely leans into thriller-like tension, but episode 10 does exactly that. The rustlers are no longer a rumor or a distant threat. They are real. They are close. And the finale is where they finally get exposed. Whether it ends with an arrest, a confession, or a showdown that leaves the ranch shaken, we know one thing for sure. This is the moment where Heartland stops being just a home and becomes a battleground. Everything in Heartland Season 19 has been building toward this single moment, this finale where every storyline finally collides. The word forgiveness isn't just a title now. It becomes the force that pushes every character to choose who they want to be moving forward. And in the trailer's final scenes, we see the pieces falling into place with breathtaking emotional weight. The section opens with a slow, quiet shot of Georgie standing outside the barn at sunrise. The world around her is still, almost fragile. She closes her eyes, as if trying to breathe in strength she isn't sure she has. This image sets the tone for the rest of the finale. Heartland is stepping into a moment where silence speaks louder than any argument, and vulnerability becomes the bravest thing anyone can offer. Next, the trailer cuts to Amy leading Phoenix into the arena. It's a soft scene filled with suspense but also warmth. Amy doesn't push him. She lets him explore, lets him feel the space, lets him decide when to move. This simple act tells us everything. Healing doesn't happen through pressure, but through patience. When Georgie walks in slowly, Phoenix turns his head, not with fear this time, but with a small, searching curiosity. It's not a reunion, not yet, but it's the beginning of one. And beginnings are often more powerful than endings. Then comes the emotional heart of the finale, Georgie's confession. She says something soft, almost shaky, in the trailer. "I'm sorry for everything." The words fall out of her like she's been holding them for years. Whether she says them to Amy, to Jack, or to Phoenix doesn't matter. The meaning is the same. Georgie is finally letting go of the wall she built around herself. She's choosing to stop running. She's choosing to feel the hurt instead of burying it. And that choice changes everything. Meanwhile, the Rustler storyline reaches its final turn. A police officer gives Jack a firm nod and unspoken confirmation that the truth has finally come out. We don't see the arrest. We don't hear the names. But we feel the weight lift off the ranch. The fear, the uncertainty, the constant watching over their shoulders. It all breaks apart in that single moment. For the first time all season, the ranch breathes again. But Heartland doesn't end finales with complete peace. There is always one thread left waiting. A scene flashes briefly. Georgie standing beside Phoenix as he takes one slow step toward her. She reaches out her hand, hesitates, then holds it steady. Phoenix lowers his head into her palm. It's soft. It's simple. It's everything fans have been waiting for. This isn't a full recovery. This isn't a competition comeback. This is trust, small, fragile, and real. And just when the trailer feels like it's giving us answers, it drops the final twist. Jack looks out toward the horizon, his face troubled. A single line closes the scene. This isn't over. Not yet. The screen cuts to black. The title Forgiveness burns across the center, and viewers are left with a chilling hint that season 20 isn't just a continuation, it's a reckoning. The finale promises healing, but it also promises truth. It promises closure, but it also promises a new beginning full of challenges none of them are ready for. And that's what makes this episode unforgettable. Every character must choose what kind of future they want, and every choice will shape Heartland forever.